Hello everybody, and welcome to Greg's Vintage Workshop, where I'm working to restore history one piece at a time. Tonight we're going to be looking at part 5 on the 1937 RCA 87A radio. In part 5 we're going to be checking the major components in the chassis and seeing if we need to do anything any different as far as ordering additional parts, which I hope not, because the parts we're going to be checking are probably unobtainium. So let's hope for the best. Without further ado, let's get started. Yeah, there it is. There's the culprit that's always in the background making all the racket. It's my basement dehumidifier. I'm going to start shutting this thing off when I'm making videos. Make it so you guys don't hear it in the background. Okay, so what we're going to do, now that it's a rainy Sunday and I can't do anything else out in the garage, is we're going to start checking some components on this RCA 87K, and we're going to start with the speaker. And the first thing I want to show you is this speaker is immaculate. There is not a single piece of damage on this thing. It's very, very nice shape, and I want to keep it that way. So that piece I just cut from the grill cloth mounting plate. I'm going to figure out how I can stick this on here. It's actually too small. I mean, it's perfect for the cone, obviously, but too small for the overall thing. But I think if I tape it down, I think we'll be fine. Okay, I got it taped down on there. That should keep me from putting my finger through it, or a cat from stepping through it, unless they step in it from the back side. I almost need to cover this thing up from the back side too, if you want to get right down to it. And I very well may do that. But we're not going to worry about that right now, because right now I want to check it out and make sure that the coils are okay in it. So I'm going to zoom you in, and I'll show you where we're going to be checking. We got this 3-pin speaker connection right here. We're going to be checking these per the schematic and see what we've got. Try and keep you all in focus, all on the screen there. Try and keep the speaker kind of in screen as well as the meter. Okay, we can check the field coil as well as the output transformer using this 3-pin connector right here. As this is setting, going counterclockwise, the bottom pin is number 1, and then 2, and then the farthest one is 3. If we go between pins 1 and 3, we should get about 376 ohms, and that's going to be the output transformer. So let me flip everything on here and we'll see what we get. Turn the MFP on, and we'll turn on the meter, and I'm going to turn this back off and push the power and range at the same time so that it doesn't time out on us. Alright, so now let's put it on ohm scale, and we're going to go between pins 1 and 3, which would be this one and this one. Yeah, that one and that one. 367 ohms. And what did I say it was supposed to be? 376 ohms. That's right on the money. 376, oh, 367. Well, I'm dyslexic, it's inverted. So the print says 376, we got 367, that's good. Alright, now to check the field coil, let me see here, looking at this diagram, we will be going between pins 1 and 2, and that should be about 1290. So between pins 1 and 2, that should be 1290. We've got 1240, 39, 1240. So we're calling that good. Now this also has a humbucker coil on it, as well as the voice coil. And the voice coil is supposed to read about 1.8 ohms, and the humbucker's less than that. So I think we're going to check that up here. Let's see what we get up here. there's some terminals in the back here that you're not seeing. Right in here, if I'm showing that to you guys, if you're seeing that, let's see, right through here. That's where I'm going to be checking. I believe our voice coil is here and here. And it's varying around 0.3. That may be the humbucker. Let's try these right here because the humbucker should be about that. Let's try these two. It's a little higher, 0.5, 0.56. I'm going to call it good. It's not open, and that's really what I'm the most worried about. So really, the speaker seems to be in really good shape. I'm going to blow off the back of it carefully. I'll probably clean up the outside of it with a little bit of rust remover in a couple spots that got a little bit of rust on it, and then clean the rust up probably with some Brasso and call it good. So that's it for the speaker. Let's move over to the chassis now, which is in the other workshop. Okay, we're at the chassis. I've got the meter on. I hopefully got it where it's not going to time out on us. But we're getting ready to check the transformer. So I can check the transformer primaries at the switch. Let me get this where you guys can see this. I can check the primaries at the switch, and we should have about 8.4 ohms. I'm going to check the secondaries on the plate of across the plates of the 5W4. And I should be able to check the one filament voltage there as well for it, and then the blue ones down there for the other heater voltages for the other tubes. I'm going to check at the 6F6 tube. So let's do that. Let's see if we can get her done. So the first thing we're going to do, if this meter doesn't shut off, it's clicking, it's trying to time out on me, but I think I got the range set so that it don't shut off. I think it'll just beep at us but not shut off. Alright, so let's go across the switch here first. We're going to go across the switch here. This will be the primary. We got 8.3, 8.2928, somewhere in there. It's supposed to be 8.6 on the print, so that's good. Primaries are good. So now we can check the secondaries across the plates of the 5W4, which is going to be pin 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. So let's get on there. Should be about 775, I think it said, or 753.7. Yeah, 775 is what it said. We're 753.7. That's good. So the secondaries are good. And now we can do the heater voltage on the 5W4. I think that was pins 2 and 8. 2 and 8. Should be some small amount. 0.31. So that's good. So that one's good. And now we're going to go down to the 6F6, which is probably not in your screen right now, so you're going to have to take my word for it. And I think we are on pins 2 and 7. There's 1, 2, and 7 right here. I don't think I got a good connection. Let's try that again. Oh, it helps if I'm on 7. I was on 6. So there's 2. Whoop, keep falling off. 2 and 7 right there. 0.3936. Good. So transformer's good, guys. So that makes me happy. Next, let's see if we can check this candom resistor. Let me get you guys in a better position to see that. Alright, we're going to take a look at the candom resistor, which is right here. This is the first resistor, the second resistor, and the third resistor. If we look at the schematic, I get it where you guys can see it. Get it where I can see, you can see it. It's right here. Okay. So this is the first section, the R15, which is 216 ohms. The second section R15 is 216. Second section is R16 is 27 ohms. The third section is R17, 22 ohms. So that's what we're getting ready to check. And again, if we look at what we're looking at right here, the first two terminals should be the first section. So we should have 216 on that. And we got 248, so it's a little high, but is not open. Alright, let's go to the next section. This one should have been 27, I believe, and we're at 28, so that's good. And then the last section should be 22. And we're 23.5, so the can dome's okay. Can dome's in good shape. There's the first section again, 250, 249. Second section, 28.7. Third section, 23. So the first section is about 10% high, maybe 15% high, but it appears to be in good shape, so I'm not going to mess with it. Alright, let's see if we can check some of these transformers next. We get set up for that. Okay, so next we're going to take a look at the antenna coil. And if you hear that noise in the background, that's actually my furnace running because it's cold enough the furnace is running. I can't turn that one off. I turned off the dehumidifier, but not the furnace. When we look at the schematic for the antenna coils, we got them here. We've got L1, L2, L3, and L4 as shown here. Now, how does that relate to what we've got down here? I'll show you, because Larry at Back to the Future Radio already did the hard work, because he did a tabletop model of the RCA 87. I think it was an 87T. So I watched his video, and lo and behold, he had a nice drawing all laid out for me. So I'm going to look at these. So what we're going to do first is we'll look at L1 right here. And L1 I can check by going between terminal 1 and terminal 2. And then L2 we can check by going from terminal 2 and terminal 3. And then L3 we can check by going from terminal 3 to 4, and the last one from 4 to 5. So that's what we're getting ready to do. The first thing we're going to look at is going to be the L1, which is terminals 1 to terminal 2, and it says it should be 0.04. That's what it says. Let's see what we get. We got about 0.191817 is dropping. It's not 0.04, but it's not open either, so I'm going to go with that one. So now we'll look at L2, which is going to be terminals 2 to 3. So let's go 2 to 3, maybe. We got 0.36-ish, and this one says 0.15, so we're a little high, but again, it's not open, so we're going to go with it. And then we're going to go for terminal 3 to 4, that's L3, terminal 3 to terminal 4, we've got 3.6-ish and some change, and according to what it shows here, it should be 3.6, so that's pretty much right on the money. And then L4 is showing 42, and we'll go from 4 to 5 to check that one. And we've got 42.25, so that's right on the money. So L1 and L2 are off slightly, but they're not open. So, and the rest of it seems dead on the money. So we got a couple things in circuit here too that could be making that change. We've got a cap right here that could be making a change. So That's the antenna coil. Now let me get set up. We'll take a look at the oscillator coil. Okay, so this is the oscillator coil here. As you can see, we got quite a few terminals on there. It looks like 8 of them. And the reason for that is because we've got a lot of coils down here. Get to the schematic where you can see it. Let's see, where are we at? There we go. So on here, we've got an L5, an L6, an L7, an L8, an L9. So let's take a look at that circuitry. And L10. Again, thanks to Larry at Back to the Future Radio, I got this great big exploded here. So on this one, same thing. We can go through and check the various coils by looking at what he has drawn out here for us, which it looks like L5 is going to be a combination of terminal between terminal 5, and terminal 1. L6 is going to be a combination between terminal 6 and terminal 4. I'll hold this where you guys can see it. L7 is going to be a combination of terminal 7 and trace it through in terminal 1. L9 is going to be terminal 8, and terminal 1. L10 obviously is going to be between terminals 2 and 3. So I'm going to set this down and then we'll go through these. So we're going to look at L5 first, which should be between terminal 1 and terminal 5. So this should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 5. And we've got 0.15 ohms dropping, 0.12 ohms. It shows we should be at 0.03 ohms, but again, as long as we're not open, I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep over it. Alright, L7 should be between terminals 5 and terminal 7. So let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7.39. And this thing says should be 0.26, so that's pretty darn close. I'm good with that. Alright, now we'll do L6, which L6 should be between terminal 4 and terminal 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right here. And we're 0.4645, and L6 should be 0.38, so that's pretty darn close, so that's good. We did L7, now let's do L8. L8, we're going to go between terminals 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm trying to keep from blocking you guys. Hopefully I'm not blocking the meter. 3 and 4. We got 1.2 and shows 0.87, so it's a little bit high, but again, it's not open, so we're gonna go with it. L9 shows it should be 4.3 ohms, and it looks like we can go between terminals 1 and 8. So there's 8, and here's 1, and we're 4.2, so that's pretty darn close. It says 4.3, we're 4.2. So last one's going to be L10, and L10 we can get to by going between terminal 2 and 3. So there's terminal 2. I'm trying to keep from having my wires block you. Terminal 2 to terminal 3. Up. We've got, we were 2 point something for a second. I got a bad connection here. I'm going to try this again. 2 to 3. 1.85, if I'm not blocking you. 1.82. And L10 shows 1.9. So that's pretty darn close. So I'd say the oscillator coil is good. I don't see any opens on it. We're pretty close on most of those. Alright, now we'll take a look at the IF transformers. Let me get that set up. Okay, so this is the first IF transformer right here. And this is the C17 capacitor. So if we look at our schematic here, okay, so here is that, I guess I get you over far. Okay, so here is the coil that we're looking at, this first IF. So we can check this side of the primary portion of this from the plate of the 6A8, which is the blue wire, and then if we come down here, we go to the C17 connection, we can check that. That's why I was showing that to you guys, that was the C17. So let's go in here and check this. So the blue wire to 6A8 plate is this one right here. And here's our C17. So let's see if I can get a good connection here. And we're 7.4, 7.3 to 7.4. And for our schematic it says 7.2. So we're right on the money for that. Now let's look at the secondary. Oh, the secondary is going to be on the top. Can't look at the secondary. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on down to second IF. Okay, so we're getting ready to take a look at the second IF transformer, which is this one right here. So if we look at the schematic, I can get it up here for you to see it. We're going to be looking at, get my finger where I can see my finger. There we go. We're going to be looking at the section right here, and I can check it at the plate from the 6K7, and then if we trace this on down, I can go back and pick back up at that same point as C17. So that's what we're going to do. So there's a 6K7, there's coming off the plate. We're going to touch right there, and we're going to come right back up here to C17 and put it right there. 7.23, and according to the schematic, 7.2. So that's right on the money. So the primaries for the two IFs are good. Now we need to go up and check them on the top side, which means I got to resituate this chassis. So let me get that done. Okay, I haven't cleaned anything up here yet, as you can tell, but this is the first IF, this is the second IF. As I showed you before, the lids come right off, so we can check the secondaries up here fairly easily. So let me get my meter where hopefully you guys can see it. Alright, so if I don't drop it, I should be able to go from here to here. And we're 7.2, 7.1, perfect, that's what it should be. Alright, so now we're going to go to this one, on this second IF. 7.5. This is a smidgy high, 7.4, but I might not have a greatish connection here. So, wonderfully, looks like there's no opens in this radio. So, now it's just a matter of me cleaning all this up. So, I think that's where we're going to end this particular video, and I will clean this thing up, and the next time you see this chassis, it's going to be spiffy and clean. So I'm Greg at Greg's Vintage Workshop. Thanks for watching.